The ticked units are the ones that are already sold.
So that's in green?
Yes. And these ones are being sold at different prices, so that's why those are crossed out red, because they're end units, so kind of premium. So these are the 787. We converted all 3 bedrooms here on this block and that block to 4 beds.
Why?
We realized a lot of people are much more richer than we thought in Ghana. So now what we have is a lot of people are showing more interest in our 4 beds. So we had to do that conversion to make room for more 4
Now,
beds.
are these all bought by Ghanaians?
Mostly.
Living here or living abroad?
No, not living here. 70%, maybe even up to 80% of our clientele is Ghanaians living abroad.
Okay.
A good part of them are looking to move back to Ghana or at least have a home in Ghana. And that has been our target market since the beginning. So it has been quite good. We've been targeting this market.
Phases 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4.
This is all phase 3.
So phase 1 is done?
Phase 1 is done. Phase 2 is currently, we're going to go there. Phase 2 is almost done. In about a month, we should be doing a commissioning of phase 2.
Phase 2.
Phase 3, what we have done is we've already started building from here. Phase 2, if this whole place was the land, phase 2 is going to be somewhere here. It's right opposite.
Okay.
Right? So there's a road that divides it, and phase 2 is here. So we've already started building these units here. We're trying to finish the first tranche, which comprises of about 200 homes. So once the first tranche is done, hopefully by end of this year, first tranche will be done, and then we'll be having people be able to move into their homes. And we're expecting that a year from now, the entire phase 3 should be done. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but we're getting it done.
So Michael, tell me, why SuCasa?
The name is Spanish.
Okay.
It's a Spanish word. SuCasa means your home.
Yeah, but casa means home, right?
Right.
In Spanish.
Right. For me, I feel like we need to be more global when we talk about homes. There is the phrase, mi casa es su casa. My home is your home. And when you look at both, my home versus your home, we felt like, well, we should say we're building your home instead of we're building my home. So that's how come the name came about, SuCasa, because we're building everyone's home. And when we started, we were doing a lot more bespoke homes. What you'd see, in East Legon and cantonments and things like that. So what we would do is to design and build the home of your dreams. There is a market for that, a huge market for that, but we still felt like there is more to be done with regards to affordable housing or accessible housing, what I want to call it.
Accessible and affordable.
Right, because there is a perception around the word affordable, or affordable.
Affordable should be cheaper.
It should be cheap and inferior.
Okay, the inferior part, yeah.
Right. People when they hear affordable housing, they just feel like, oh, this must be inferior housing. And we've seen it over and over again. People come over to our sites, they see what we're doing, and they say, but this isn't what I expected. This isn't, affordable housing, what we know about affordable housing. And we're saying, well, it's affordable because of the pricing, but it's not going to be inferior.
Inferior.
So now we're trying to change that and say more of, accessible housing instead of, affordable housing.
Somebody would ask, there are so many offers in Ghana, all kinds of real estate developments coming up.
Right.
Why should I think SuCasa?
Number one, our ultimate goal is to put Ghana on the map. When you look at Dubai is Dubai because of real estate.
Primarily, yes.
Is it possible to get there as a country or as a city, as Accra or Kumasi or Takoradi or whatever city that we have here? Is it possible to get there? Absolutely. There's nothing that stops us from doing that. So our ultimate goal is far from even what we're doing right now. And that's how come we're coming up with one of the biggest communities in Accra right now, which is 77 acres. There are not many.
7 acres, that's a lot.
Yes, and it's 787 homes in there.
77 acres, 787 homes. Now, you don't have issues with land title or anything like that? Because normally we know that one of the biggest problems we have
Indeed.
has to do with land acquisition in Ghana.
Indeed.
Are you covered?
We are. We take a lot of time to do due diligence. The good thing about buying from us, and just like many other developers anyway, not just SuCasa, when you're buying off plan, thing is you're able to move things around. You're able to say, I want this as an add-on, I want the partitions, I want this and I want that, I want to change the lighting, I want to make sure that the walls are cream instead of white. But then there are standards that we work with. So if you want the standard, we give you the standard. But if you want to add certain things, subtract certain things, we're giving our clients the ability to be able to do all of that. So it's an open floor plan. This is the kitchen area, living room, and then upstairs we have 3 bedrooms. On phase 1, you can see the unit all done.
Okay, Michael, so now we're here. I mean, tell me, who's your target? Who do you want to buy a SuCasa house?
Who we want to buy a SuCasa house today is a little different from who's going to be able to buy a SuCasa house tomorrow. Today, the target market is Ghanaians living abroad. Ghanaians living in Ghana as well. And even the expat, the African American that's looking to move to Ghana. We have come up with something called the SuCasa Experience. What the SuCasa Experience looks to achieve is we're going to 6 major countries, and we're marketing the SuCasa brand and everything that we're doing. On a monthly basis, we're bringing hundreds of people on a monthly basis into the country on a tour. It's going to be a week-long tour. We're going to, have them in their hotels. They don't have to worry about anything, whether it's food, security, accommodation, anything. And we're taking them around to the different developments, not just SuCasa. So as far as the target market is concerned, it's Ghanaians living abroad, it's African Americans looking to move into Ghana, Ghanaians living in Ghana. One of the main reasons why the SuCasa Experience is very important is we have realized that 70 to 80% of our clients are Ghanaians living abroad and African Americans or the Black diaspora. Most of the people that have a problem with SuCasa, or any developer for that matter, are the people who are not here. Because that there's this perception, you send your money home for your uncle or your auntie. Exactly. So whether it's a company,
build you a substandard stuff.
So whether it's a company or it's an individual, as long as the money's going down here and they're not here to see exactly what's going on, they're always on the edge. So the slightest thing, it's like, it takes little to put the fire to the fumes, because there's already that kind of environment, right? So what we're doing is we're doing the SuCasa experience so that they can actually come for as low as possible and see what we're doing.
Interestingly, you've talked about the diaspora, the African diaspora, the Black diaspora. You've talked about, as we say, the people out there.
Right.
Now, not too long ago, you wrote an article called something about Borgas.
Yes.
That's what we call it here anyway.
Right.
So what was the thrust of it? What exactly were you looking to achieve? Some have said it was, you were taking, some shots. Right. You were not being very charitable. You're not being very friendly. You were giving off the impression that they shouldn't sit, in a similar comfortable environment and determine how things are running. But what was that whole thing about the letter to Borgas? What was it about?
About 2 weeks ago, I was sitting with a close friend of mine, the most brilliant person that I know when it comes to construction. He had read the article from his mouth, and I'm not going to say his name because of what he said. He said, "I hate them."
I hate them. Well, that's strong.
Strong is an understatement. In the article, I cited something similar. I was with a doctor friend. She says, "My colleagues are all leaving the country." The brain drain, as we call it.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get out, which I understand. To an extent, even I support. Not everyone can make it out here.
True.
So if people want to leave to seek greener pastures, I do understand it, absolutely.
Is it not human nature that people who want to be
Exactly. However, for those of us who decide to stay and build it, for all of us, not for only those who are still in here, but even those of our brothers and sisters out there. At the very least, what we can do is to support.
Show them some respect, or show us some respect.
And respect is reciprocal. It goes both ways. I think we need to show them some respect because they have a huge responsibility as well to take our culture and spread it outside the shores or the borders of Ghana.
Yeah.
But at least when we're building something like this, we need to at least believe in it and support it.
Right.
And if we're not going to do that, then at least don't try to tear it down.
Do you hate the Borgas too?
No, I couldn't.
So tell me, SuCasa, when would you cross your legs and say, done?
That'd be probably when we're no longer here.
You're not going to stop.
Because to me, what's the point in stopping? If there's work that can be done and we're still breathing, we're still here, then let's keep doing it.
How many houses do you have so far?
About 70 homes.
About 70.
Yes.
What's the target?
We're going to build a city.
Okay, wait a minute. So phase 1 is how many?
17 homes.
And then phase 2?
55.
55.
Phase 3, 787.
Now that's where the problem is. You start from 17, you do 55, and then you're going to 700 plus.
Yes.
Not too much?
Almost 800. They say,
Are you punching above your weight?
No, it's okay to start small. As they say, at least let's start small. It's okay. But let's not stay small. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. Housing deficit stands at 2 million plus homes. To be honest, these homes are not going to solve that problem.
Well, they're not cheap ones.
Exactly. I saw what the government, recently put out when you were there.
I was there.
Right. And that's a good start. About 13,000 USD. We're going to beat that standard that the government has set, and that's a great standard. But we're going to beat that as far as pricing is concerned.
I was going to ask, how competitive can you be?
We're going to go under $10,000. Believe it or not. We've done the math. But it's very feasible. It's hard to believe.
The kind of quality you say you want to put out there. Below $10,000, it's a bit too low, isn't it? Are you going to make profit?
We would. If a business isn't making profit, then it might as well not start at
but
all.
then, if you're going to say below $10,000, you're going to be able to do that. What kind of materials are you going to use? What are you going to do? What's the magic?
It's not magic. It's basic math.
Yeah.
It's basic math. If you wake up and you say, I want to build a home for $10,000, right now, exchange sits at, say,
Less
11,
than 20,000.
Right. Ask people if it's possible. And when I say people, I'm talking professional. And especially when you're not building one.
When you look at real estate in Africa, for example,
Right.
there are better thriving areas. Of course, people talk about Johannesburg, Cape Town, Kigali, Arusha, Nairobi. Those are, like, for want of a better word, sexy places to go to. Why Accra? Why Ghana?
First, I will be biased.
Okay.
I'm gonna. So on that basis alone, but of course, business is business. You need to be able to look beyond. And we are going to go beyond. But we don't just say Ghana is the gateway to Africa for nothing. We lead the way. Like it or not. It's arguable, but for me, it's not arguable. Ghana is the gateway to Africa. We set the tone. We set the pace.
SuCasa is in Accra. We're seeing all these beautiful things you're doing. But some say Accra is not Ghana.
Right, and I say that even more than anyone.
So where else are you going? Because it looks like everything is centered around Accra. What's the plan?
I spoke to you about 100,000 acres.
Yes.
Put it in perspective, that's 2.5 times the size of Tema. There is so much land outside of Accra. The reason why you see everyone in Accra or Kumasi or Takoradi is because, or maybe Tamale, is because in between these 4 cities, which are not even, international standard cities, there's really nothing else out there. But there is so much land that can be developed.
If you're going to go outside these 4 places you mentioned, infrastructure-wise, you're going to have issues. It probably will cost you more to build in those areas than if you're doing here in Accra or in Kumasi or in Takoradi or in Tamale or in Sunyani or in Ho, for example.
No one said the job was supposed to be easy. Dubai was built from nothing.
Yeah.
What they had when that nothing was there is less than what we have.
Well, human capital and a visionary, maybe. Now, if somebody says, in 25 years from now, what would the SuCasa dream be?
We would revolutionize homes. We would make people be able to say, I live in, I'm not going to say the name, we'll unveil it in due time. We'll make people say, I live in that, just like people are now happy to say, I have an iPhone. People will interact with real estate much, much differently than we are interacting with real estate right now. In a month from now, we're going to unveil our first virtual city. It's modeled after the Phase 3. What that does is, we've actually done it like a game. I don't know if you play video games, but Grand Theft. Okay, Grand Theft Auto. your kids would know GTA then. It's modeled after the Phase 3. And what it is you can walk through the community, and if Kwame Sefa Kayi lived down the street, and I know this is his house, I can go on the platform and go knock on his gate virtually. And you get a notification on your phone that says someone's at your gate, and I can strike up a conversation with you. It's a virtual city modeled after Phase 3, and it's going to be just as Phase 3 is. And we're going to expand it beyond that. You can go to the mall, you can go to the mini mart and place an order and get it delivered to you at your home.
So here we are, Phase 2. When are we opening?
We're expecting that in 6 weeks, we're going to do the commissioning of Phase 2. We're going to put out the dates like we did for Phase 1, and we're going to see, the magic happen. Yeah. So in about 6 weeks, we should have the commissioning of Phase 2 and then have people be able to move into their homes. It's always a blessing for us to be able to see people happy. To be honest, again, it's selfish. What we do for people, but we do for ourselves as well. And even more so ourselves. If today they don't see it, tomorrow they'll see it.
That's it.
And that's what we do it for. We do it so that someday, sometime from now, they're going to say, oh, if not for that company that stepped in.
Have a home. Yeah.
Precisely.
Why should I consider SuCasa above all else?
We are more than a real estate company. SuCasa is the future of Ghana. It is the future of Africa. We are going to go beyond building houses. We're building homes. We're building cultures. Right now we're having what we call the brain drain. People leaving. Now we're bringing people in.
Brain gain.
Exactly. And these people are going to work here. They're not just going to live here. They're going to work here. They're going to help build the nation that we all want to see. If they did it in Dubai, they did it Paris, they did London, New York, we can do it as well. And we are going to do it. And that's why you should choose SuCasa above all else. However, you should not choose SuCasa if you have any doubts. People have likened SuCasa to, and I don't know the man, all right? But, and it turns out our office is right opposite where the men's gold office used to be. So they said, this might be a scam because it's too good to be true, which is what caused us to increase prices, which we didn't need to do. But then you increase prices and then you start to see people now responding positively. And I'm sitting there thinking, but you could have got the same thing for less. You know, and so we're here to help the general public and to help ourselves. We're going to get to the point where we're going to build hundreds of thousands of homes, if not millions, to address the housing deficit. And again, we're going to go beyond housing. We're going to go beyond real estate when we're bringing people in and making people have a home and feel like, oh, now I have a piece of my home. Because no matter where you are, as long as you're Ghanaian, as long as you're Black, Africa has, you have a piece of Africa. And we're going to make that reality. We already are. A lot of our clients are people who have been dreaming of coming home, whether Ghanaians or African Americans.
And you're making them that offer, bringing them back.
We're making it a reality.
So as you say, brain drain reverse to brain gain.
Brain gain, as you put it. So it's a perfect phrase.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too.
Appreciate your time.
And let's see you when you do phase 3, 4, 5, and you move out.
Phase 3 is already on the way.
On the way.
So
4, 5, 6. You never know how far you go. All the best.
Maybe 4, 5, 6 would be cities, and we won't call them phases anymore.
Well, so that'll be the SuCasa city.
We'll find a name for it.
All the best. Thanks a lot. Wish you well. Okay. Right.